We're live. Welcome to the latest edition of the Vitrina podcast, where we feature key leaders from the entertainment industry, and we feature their solutions and their companies. Today, I have the pleasure of inviting Maarten Verwaest, who's joining us all the way from Europe, and he can tell us exactly where he is. He's actually the co-founder of Limecraft, which is a key player within the supply chain solutioning, within our industry. Maarten, lovely to have you.
It's a pleasure, Atul, all the way from lovely, beautiful Belgium, where it's actually very bad weather today.
Uh-huh. Fantastic. And where in Belgium is that where your head office is located? Is this where you're headquartered?
So our office, and that's also where all the research and development is done, is based in Ghent, the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium.
Fantastic. Lovely to have you again. Excited to speak to you about your sort of story as well as Linecraft in specific terms. Let's get us started right away. Maarten, would love to sort of start with what is your usual elevator pitch when you meet a new customer running. I know you've been at IBC recently. You're running in the corridor. Someone stops you saying, "Mr. Linecraft," right, with your t-shirt on.
Yeah.
What does Linecraft do? What's the elevator pitch?
Then the easiest way to explain it that we take care of the asset management of our customers. Huh? So the bigger picture is we're dealing with producers and broadcasters and basically anyone who's possibly involved with a professional video production. So not the consumer stuff. Ever more, increasingly more companies that don't come from a cinema or broadcast background, but are busy with working on professional production of video. All of those are customers. We take care of asset management and, more importantly, drastic automation of their production operations. That's what it's all about.
Interesting. And when you say asset management, at what point do these assets reach your solution? Is it at the raw footage side? Is it super early, or is it already gone through a few cycles of processing?
Can I say that we start working on assets before the first pixels are shot?
Nice.
We're in a professional context, so there is always a planning system or a script or any other preparatory process that and we prefer kicking in the process as soon as possible. Every bit of data we can get our hands on prior to the actual production often avoids the need of expensive artificial intelligence later on. So in the best case scenario, we start from the planning and the pre-production processes, harvesting all the data. When then the raw material, the fragments of raw material arrive from the film set, we boil it down. We keep a single set of numbers. We make sure everybody's on the same page throughout the different steps in post-production, throughout localization, down to broadcast and beyond. In the ideal scenario, we kick in early in pre-production and we go down to post-production and whatever happens beyond. That not necessarily means we always cover the full spectrum end to end. Customers usually cherry pick whatever they need, but we're quite unique in the sense that we can cover these early stages in the production as well. I think that's one of the strengths of our company.
Fascinating. And in terms of the specifics of scripted, unscripted, live, which aspects do you really play in?
let's say we're a bit an atypical startup. We're not a typical lean startup in the sense that we're very good at the same time. We're very good at scripted entertainment, reality, documentary, news and sport to the extent that it's not live. When people ask us what does Limecraft do, what are the formats you support, then we could almost say anything which is non-live. Live is a different ballgame, Atu. Live is frames in, frames out, and you work on the fly. Limecraft can do great things on files, 10 times faster in real time, super accurate, but not live. But whether it's a documentary producer who's swallowing thousands of hours of raw material per month, or fiction with a couple of hours per day, but they need to do it very fast. Anything which is non-live, that's where we play.
Fantastic. No, that's super useful to know. And then the other aspect is that I know that your story sort of started from broadcast. You've had a great career in the broadcast side, TV network side. Talk to us a little bit about the genesis of Limecraft's idea and how the journey started. And what was the aha moment saying, oh, you know what, this is a problem worth solving?
Well, the aha moment is goes a long time back. So it's true. You've checked my antecedents. I used to work as a research and development architect and led the research and development department of the Belgian state broadcaster VRT, which I think was one of the most technologically advanced broadcasters in Europe. And we started the journey in '99. So that's 25 years ago. And the CTO at that time, a super visionary person, wanted to automate the production process and make television interactive. And he said to me, as long as we're writing a screenplay in a Word document and we're printing it out, it's quite impossible to enable automation and personalization and interactivity. So we need to structure our back office. And it's not about the heavy lifting of the video. It's all about the master data around it. So the actors, the props, the locations, we need those data tightly connected to the images. So we started working our way. To your question earlier, where does Limecraft play? We started at the source, and we knew that the most valuable data are born over there in the script. Think of all the product placement in a typical James Bond story. It's full of product placement. Every piece of valuable information is in the script, and if it's not in the script, it's not important. So to enable automation in post-production, to enable interactivity, personalization, clickable content downstream, you need an exact table of content. You need to know exactly, frame accurately, which objects are featured in the images on which frame. And the nasty bit is that first there is a script that has the length of the entire feature. Then there is thousands of shots coming from the film set, and those are pieces of video of just a few seconds. These are cut and paste together by the editor in edit suites and downstream in VFX and in post-production. And the tricky bit is, throughout the different steps in post-production, one needs to keep track of all those data, and that's what Limecraft is doing, down to the playout systems and beyond, because it doesn't stop at the first playout. Then you have a master, and that master is reproduced. I was almost going to say recycled, but it's not about repurposing or recycling. It's a single configurable bill of material, which is then ready-made for and recreated for different outlets. And the whole idea is of the automation is to write the interoperable master format once and to reproduce it lights out without any manual work as many times as you want. You want to reproduce that master in as many versions as you want at marginal cost. And this is what's currently happening. This is nothing to do with Gen AI or AI in general. This is about automation that we've seen happening in other industries. It's happening today in the media industry, and it requires proper access to valuable data, the master data coming from pre-production, and it's happening today.
Fascinating, fascinating. And I mean, I can relate to all of the aspects that you talked about, especially the fact that everything starts from the script, and essentially the breakdown of that script into the the props and the timing and the dialogues and the actor appearance and schedules and sets and so on and so forth, right? The whole breakdown of the script, right? Essentially, that's what feeds into your system as perhaps metadata as well as
Yeah,
other aspects. Is that
that's correct. That's the type of data which we feed in our system and which we use to turn around. It's a concept we have called media intelligence. So yes, we are using a lot of artificial intelligence as part of our processing pipeline, but it's not all about artificial intelligence as we know it. By the way, most creative people, directors, editors, they don't trust AI that much
that's
because
right?
it's super prone to errors. The error rate of recognized people or even transcription can be significant and can make it completely impossible to use those transcripts or image descriptions as such for publishing. It always requires QC, post editing, etc. However, when you take into account, when you feed it with the relevant, with all documents from production and pre-production, for example, the casting documents, that's a list of all people, the most important people that are featured in the images. If you feed it in the engine and you instruct it to specifically look for those people from the casting documents, chances that you have an 100% accurate result are much higher. So that's what we do. We take into account all information which is a priori available, and then the task of an AI engine becomes much simpler. Another example to make it more tangible or explicit is one of the steps in the automation is automating subtitles. We do all the subtitling of Premier League productions. Premier League productions in UK, that's 600 plus football players. The majority of non-British origin, which are typically very badly recognized by a speech-to-text engine which is trained for English.
Right.
The
Right.
moment you feed it with a list of names of 600 football players from wherever they are, they will be recognized properly. And of course, Premier League Productions has those the list of those names readily available. So this is not rocket science. This is understanding the process and making sure the technology does what you expect it to do. And that's what we call media intelligence. By the way, we will never market Limecraft as an AI company or a tech company which is using AI. As a journalist or as an editor, you just want the technology to work. Basta. And we make sure it works.
Fantastic. No, that totally makes sense. The way you described it and the use case that you sort of gave the example of. One question which I had, Martin, was relating to you talking about you essentially start from just after pre-production, just before even the first scene is shot, right? And then where does the journey end? Limecraft essentially hands off the final output to what's your when do you hand off the baton and who do you hand it off?
I think this is a question into our roadmap because we're not at the end yet. Let me explain. So we started source material, then cutting, then VFX compositing, delivering a master file to whatever came beyond. Then we were engaged by Groupe Eclair in France. It's a reference customer of ours. All the details are on our website. And Eclair, it's the oldest film lab in France. It's a fantastic company with a great history. Eclair is responsible for the inventory control of 260 plus of the most famous French cinema producers. So Eclair has the stock, it's petabytes of masters, and only masters. Eclair is not dealing with source material. Eclair is dealing with masters and responsible for reproducing, remastering those contents towards, Amazon Prime, iTunes, with all specific recipes of and formats, styling guides. So it's in that context that we started working and dealing with the technical details of multi-channel audio and different language variants and handling subtitles. It's in the area of the playout, and then to the delivery towards the final destination. And here is what's currently at stake, or the current playing field, is that we see broadcasters, streamers, aggregators alike being faced with an enormous and increasing complexity of ingesting content from different sources. It's like the other side of the table. So recently, we've been asked 3 or 4 times the same question. From the broadcast side of the table, Limecraft, can you give us a content portal? Can you give us, you don't need to replace our internal media asset management system, but can you give us a portal in which 50, 60, 70 producers can supply their materials, and not just the video assets, but also the posters and the trailers and all the ancillary files in a structured way, because currently it's all in WhatsApp and email, and we can't control it anymore. And here we're in uncharted territory. There is no clean-cut solution available on the market yet.
That's right.
Those companies could engage with workflow solutions and then start bolting on point solutions for subtitling and for cutting and translation. But there was no turnkey solution available yet for that part of the value chain. And this is something which we've solved for the largest broadcaster in the Netherlands and Belgium. Very successful project. We got an award for it at IBC. And it's my assumption that every broadcaster, every aggregator, wholesale operator in that part of the value chain is in need for a similar solution. And interestingly, the producers that have been onboarded by DPG Media is the company which I was talking about. Interestingly, the producers that have been onboarded by DPG Media are now pushing other broadcasters, knocking on their door and saying, hey guys, get your act together. We can deliver to DPG, and it makes our life so much easier because now the content is quality controlled at the source. No more rush telephones 15 minutes before going on antenna saying there is a minor problem with the data. It's all checked, verified at the source. Everybody's happy. The producer, the broadcaster. So this is not just media asset management anymore as we knew it. When we started the company a few years ago, everybody was thinking media asset management is a solution to solve within the perimeter of a single company. Now, Atul, media asset management is becoming something online. It's providing a solution for a dynamic ecosystem of players, producers, co-producers, third parties delivering services to those producers, and broadcasters that all interact around the same bill of material. And it's a problem which I believe Limecraft has structurally solved by not replacing the on-premise media management systems, but by delivering something in between.
Fascinating. This is, by the way, congratulations on the award at IBC. What and also the solution. It sounds really, really exciting. Just in terms of the multiple parties that it actually sort of brings together on a single sort of a platform. Right.
What started as a solution for DPG Media connecting 60 producers for the local ecosystem in Belgium is now expanding into the Netherlands. There is another broadcaster now in the Netherlands, for that matter, jumping on the wagon, also connecting to the ecosystem. There is subtitle companies who've now been linked up to the system, so they can also supply their deliverables, and they all benefit from the fact that everybody is on the same page. There is a single set of numbers. The progress bars that indicate in real time about the status of the different assets that have been submitted, the reason why they're rejected. Everybody's within a fraction of a second. All stakeholders get the same notification. So the magnitude is huge. It's tens of stakeholders in the same value chain collaborating per series of episodes.
Fascinating. I was actually curious to ask you, Maarten, when you started the company, was this always a cloud-based solution, or did you have a heavy application that you then migrated to cloud? Talk to us a little bit about that genesis as well.
No. Imagine in a prior life, the entire founding team, we came from 3 different companies, but we all have been deeply involved in installing and rolling out the type of asset management systems like you describe. On-premise, traditional software, north of 2 million in capex, 24 months deployment time. We've all handled a few of them.
That's right.
I'm not going to name any specific examples, and it was because of that healthy frustration that we incorporated Limecraft. It was cloud native from day one.
Okay.
Implementation time was minutes or hours rather than weeks or months. Right. Unfortunately, Atul, we came with a product to a market which was yet to be developed. It took us another 4 or 5 years to sign up both France Télévisions and BBC within a month. In hindsight, I think we were 4 or 5 years too early. We were too innovative. Yet we kept on working on the product in close collaboration with the parties which still today are some of our best customers.
Okay. Nice.
Solving tiny bits of their supply chain problem, which then eventually led to the Limecraft platform as we knew it. But to give you an example, initially we thought, let's convince producers to forklift their entire stock of raw material petabytes into the cloud. Well, that's we discovered the hard way that was not a very good idea. So in I think early on in 2013 or 14, we made a pivot which saved our life. Yes. And we started working on a hybrid architecture. It's a bit technical, but in essence, making it possible for customers to store the raw material, the high resolution material, on premise, usually on data tape, on cold storage, And it was an illusion to think that at some point in time, cloud storage would become that cheap that it would be possible for a producer to upload all their content in the cloud. If you're a documentary producer and you're making a 2-year shoot for a single show,
Right.
wildlife, 2-year shoot in a decent image format, you'll spit out 2 petabytes of content. Now let's make the math. At a price tag of $20 per terabyte per month on Amazon, that's going to cost you 40,000 per month just to store that.
Yes.
4,000 per month just to store that
4,000.
material on AWS. It's just a thought experiment.
Yeah.
So if you're a heavy duty producer like one of our key customers, Aero Media in UK, who's constantly on 40 or 50 of such projects,
Wow.
assuming that can go into the cloud is totally the cost of the recurring cost of storage would be totally prohibitive. That's not going to work. Not today, not next year, not in the next couple of years. So, by the way, we're not in the storage business, so we advise our customers to look for cold storage or a mix of cold storage, nearline storage, whatever. Then we put Limecraft on top, and then they have the benefit of online collaboration using low resolution copies. We call them proxies. It's a proxy-based workflow, but we keep them connected to the high resolution files, the valuable assets on their own storage. And that's how we enable collaboration whilst they can do the finishing on using the high resolution materials. So, bit technical, but that's how it works.
No, that's super useful. This is a good segue to my next set of questions, which is really your clientele right now. Looks like you've got broadcasters and streamers as one category of customers. Eclair, from the way you describe them, they look like a packaging and delivery company, service company. And then how about production houses, distributors? Are those also key sort of client categories for you, or is it largely broadcasters and streamers?
No, we do both, and we like them equally.
Okay.
So in fact, we don't care who pays the invoice. We're invoicing on a volume basis, and sometimes it's the broadcaster who opens up their workspace and invites production companies in the workspace. Sometimes it's the other way around. It's the producer who subscribes to a Limecraft account and then opens up their workspace to broadcasters for picking the assets. And the same goes with service companies that are sometimes but that's, in every professional media production process, there is always a tripartite between the producer who usually owns the rights, unless they do business with Netflix, the broadcaster that then acquires some of the rights, and post-production facilities or service companies, and for the matter, if we extend that to subtitling and localization companies, there we have the 3 main players, and we do business with all of them. And this is also a reason why all of them have to make the move to the cloud, and will eventually operate in a portal which happens online on the internet somewhere, connecting to local services. And that's really the very reason why we started Limecraft in the first place. A strong belief that at some point in time, all these local asset management systems and processing services will happen in the cloud somewhere. Looking to what's going to happen in the future, I believe that more and more repetitive tasks, and I'm not sure if I can tell it openly, but we've seen subtitling becoming automated. I believe in the very near future we will see basic video editing tasks become automated. And then, so
Seeing lot
that's going to be
innovation.
AI-based services that participate in the production process.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I completely agree on the subtitling piece and the even some editing aspects, some VFX, basic VFX and touch ups. We're seeing lots of solutions actually enter into the supply chain. So we track. I mean, Virginia tracks supply chain, participants and solutions. And we've suddenly seen over the last 6 to 8 months a lot of new companies that are entering the Virginia universe. We track, all the new entrants as well. And some of the new companies that we are seeing are largely software companies solving some problems in localization, in editing, and in some basic aspects of VFX. So you're
Yeah.
absolutely right on that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are indifferent. You started in the beginning of the interview by asking, what is Limecraft doing? My most obvious response was media asset management, because that's what people understand. But
Right.
at this point, I think it's fair to say we're much more a workflow automation solution than a media asset management solution.
Right.
And by workflow automation, it's open to software services participating in the project. And I believe, whereas creative people in the past had a rather manual objective and key result, if I can put it that way,
Cool.
I think that these jobs will move from manual interventions to more becoming a machine operator, doing the quality control of the process, which to a large extent will be an automated routine.
How do you see that change? Limecraft's platform. Will you integrate with a lot of these new tools? Will you uh, build some of these in house? How's your
Yeah,
approach going to be?
we integrate them. We rubber stamp accuracy and quality label.
Okay.
We are working for
Okay,
one of the
okay. Can you
largest.
can you give us an example of that? Just
Yeah, yeah. We've touched partly. We've touched on it earlier, but by means of an example, we're doing the video processing of one of the largest, arguably the oldest news agency worldwide, and they're in their capacity as a news agency, they're super sensitive to accuracy of data.
right.
They're selling their stuff to 1,000 plus news desks worldwide, and their unique selling point is accuracy of information.
Yeah.
So when we started deploying face recognition for them, obviously there was a question, hey Maarten, how can you ensure that people of color are equally rightly recognized than white people? And we never thought about that. So it's not just a matter of taking a cookie cutter image recognition engine from Amazon or Google or
Right.
whatever big tech company. If we start exposing that to a professional news desk, we need to have it scientifically tested by scientific methods, giving maximum assurance that it's that it's precise, accurate, reproducible in all possible senses.
Got it. Got it. Fantastic. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And essentially, the the it- you anticipate a lot of these integrations to actually happen with the rubber stamp or with the approval stamp from Limecraft as you bring in
That's
some
it.
of these third
Yeah.
party solutions. Okay.
Yeah, so we bring in third-party solutions. If you
Okay.
want, we could call it original equipment manufacturers. We make OEM deals
Right.
with, for example, uh, one of the companies out there who, in my opinion, makes the best speech-to-text solutions is Speechmatics. based in UK. We're constantly benchmarking all available alternatives for most European languages. We strongly prefer Speechmatics. But then again, we pimp the solution, we dope the vocabulary with lists of names we get from the planning system, as we were talking about earlier. So we tell our customers, please rely on us for any of your transcription requirements. We will guarantee you the best possible solution on the market. And if there is a better than Speechmatics, we will immediately swap your workspace to the better one. And by the way, on top of Speechmatics, we provide you with these and these services to make it even more accurate, faster, etc. That's how we see our role. We take general purpose technologies, we fine-tune them, we make sure they get the most out of it in terms of security, reliability, precision, and usability in general.
Understood. Fantastic. No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, one aspect that I was curious also, Martin, was relating to who brings Limecraft into the discussion. Whose pain point actually sort of brings you in? Is it the CIO, CPO, or is it the production leaders who are bringing you in, or is it the business leaders? Usually
That's a
in
good.
our industry, the folks who bring solutions in are different from the end
It's a
user.
good question. It's often the post-production supervisor. So it's like the first violin of the orchestra. It's not the chef, not always the chef. It's usually not the financial director. They need to approve whatever we're shipping, but it's usually those people with ink on their fingers that are getting more and more increasingly frustrated by the amount of manual work,
Right.
that are confronted with increasing complexities when they have to make 10 different versions for 10 different broadcasters.
And
At
the
a
more,
certain point,
actually, that makes so much sense, Martin. I'm just fascinated by your response, because the more problems you have upstream, the folks downstream are going to face the most amount of problems. So that,
yeah,
okay.
they eat it. There is this old saying, "We'll fix it in post production." Well, there's only so much you can do in post production, and at a certain point, in our experience, people don't deliberately accept automation. They don't trust it. There is cultural inertia. There is hundreds of reasons not to accept
Yes.
automation.
Yes.
But then there comes a point where it's not achievable anymore by solving it manually. And rest assured, once they get used to it, once they have tasted the comfort, and the basis is trust, reliable results, reproducible results, and once they've seen it, then they won't give it back anymore. Then they once beyond, they're fully comfortable with it, and they won't give it back anymore.
And they will be the champions, of Linecraft.
That's it.
So upstream, in the, hey, you've got to use it, because otherwise you're transferring too many problems to us.
Yeah, we're about to put a beautiful customer case with ITV on our website. ITV, where the technical director said, actually, the rollout went much faster than we anticipated. So people started using it, and all of a sudden, it was almost out of control. We couldn't stop it anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, very interesting case. It was the once the post-production supervisors came on board. Now, I was going to tell you, once they started, we couldn't stop it anymore, and it was because they invited the most skeptical people first at the table to express their concerns, to voice their reservations, so we could take those into account. and they became the biggest evangelists, the biggest champions in the during the rollout.
Fascinating. Again, I mean, these are epic stories that just tell us, how some of these implementations go. And successful implementations are just always treasured because they deliver delight on both sides of the table. So that again, congratulations on that smooth implementation with ITV. Maarten, I was curious, and we covered a lot of ground in terms of your key customers, your key users, and the key use cases. I was curious about also some aspects on 2025 roadmap. What are you currently sort of working on? Platforms are always being built because they are either
Yeah.
sort of widening or they are getting more deeper. Are you going wider or deeper?
Both. I always use a quote by Thomas Mann, Der Tod in Venedig, small essay, where at one of the pages he says, for a solution to be understood, it must be broadly and deeply understood by everybody at the table, something in that area. So we need to go broad and deep. Limecraft was conceived in the first place as a very wide, deep solution end to end. That's where the value is. We mitigate the integration problem of our customers, but we also have to go deep. Now, the safe answer to your question, where are we looking at in 25, is that honestly and in full transparency, today it's very, very hard to predict what the future is bringing in a 12 to 24 month time frame. I've just returned from the Future Media Week, excellent organization of the media cluster Bergen in Norway, where we got a mind-blowing presentation by the lead architect of TV2 Denmark on what today is possible with various sorts of AI and beyond my imagination, Atul. So he live demonstrated the capabilities of a music generator and of Flux, who's doing super high resolution image production, and the same with video, and whether that's going to be used by criminals for producing fake news or by professionals, I don't know. But rest assured, media production as we know it, it's going to be turned inside out. It's going to be a completely different ball game. So the way we are playing with our customers is we prefer doing business with the early adopter type of customers like ITV, DPG. They don't do a lengthy RFP procedure. They're specifically looking for more agile companies like Limecraft. They say it's a partnership, it's a tag-along game. So every couple of weeks, we define a sprint. We make an agreement on what's next the couple of weeks, and we operate a roadmap with 8 consecutive releases per year. The first 2 are fixed and committed, and the rest will be fine-tuned, rolling forward in complete transparency and collaboration with those customers we talk with, those customers that are guiding us in the roadmap. They like it because they get a first hand in the roadmap. We like it because we're sure it's spot on their requirements. So we take it more pragmatically. It's a bit like an agile approach. But the one thing we know for sure is that the level of automation will be much more than we can imagine today. I believe video editing, and as you mentioned, some of the VFX jobs are at stake. I agree with that point of view. I anticipate the localization of today, which is about putting another language track or subtitles in another language. We ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to be full personalization, or at least the illusion of personalization. I think advertisement as we know it today with targeted or programmatic advertisement, we should say. Imagine a world where you can localize the graphics and insert product placement in a super automating VFX, so you can start inserting product placements into the images. That's next level advertisement. So I think that's where we're heading to. If you accept the fact that the VFX can be automated, then advertisement will be a different animal as well in 24 months. So hard to predict. The level of automation will be unseen. So we need to be more agile, and we're looking for customers that are willing to step up their game as well, that appreciate this type of partnership, co-creation. That's what we're after.
Fantastic. Maarten, looks like 2025 is going to be, very, very exciting and busy.
Interesting.
You talked about, talked about some of the third-party integrations. You talked about automation, and you talked about perhaps the most important aspect, which is the partnership that you have with customers that are then guiding the product and platform journey. In really how you are continuing to innovate, your platform and evolve it. Fantastic. Maarten, absolute pleasure to have you today on our podcast. Again, we feature innovative companies that are on the move and really sort of bringing new solutions to the market and to the entertainment supply chain. Uh, uh, Thank you so much for joining us today on the Regina podcast.
It was a pleasure being here, Atul. Nice to speak to you, and great to catch up.
Awesome.